Both the Eastern Michigan and Western Michigan women's gymnastics teams have been on a continuing upward arc over the last 2 weeks. The Eagles posted their best team score of the season last weekend in DeKalb with a 195-325 to make it back-to-back wins. The Broncos, fresh off a win over Bowling Green, at 6-1 overall. Western Michigan hasn't scored less than a 196 so far this season. Welcome you aboard to the George Gervin Game Above Center. Western Michigan, Eastern Michigan. This one finally counts on the MAC schedule. Welcome aboard, everybody. I'm Brent Balbina. She is Kim Dowis-Brown. Kim, we both got here early, and the energy level for both teams during warm-ups was off the charts. If that is any indication of what we're going to see tonight, this one ought to be special.
Absolutely. Both teams were coming off a win last weekend in their respective competitions, and the energy in here was electric. We are in for a treat all across the gym this evening.
A couple of athletes we're going to be taking an eye on here this evening, of course, the all-arounders. And let's start with the Broncos, and she is something special. Peyton Murphy. She tied a career high on vault last weekend. A serious injury, a broken neck a couple seasons ago. She is a feel-good story.
Peyton Murphy is a tremendous talent. As you said, a broken neck a few seasons ago. She is a fifth-year student. She's a nursing student, and you are in for a treat all over the gym from Peyton, and she is definitely going to be one to watch this evening. She breaks her own record time and time again in the all-around.
On the flip side for the Eagles, Steady Eddie, Raisa Boris. First in 3 of 4 events last weekend, and she just continues to get better each week.
Absolutely. Raisa is on a hot streak right now, and she is definitely one to watch. She'll be right up there with Peyton in the all-around, and she is just steady, calm, consistent, and I can't wait to see what tonight holds for this competitor.
There you get a good look from the upper deck here at the George Gervin Game Above Center as both squads finishing their warm-ups. And again, who we're keeping an eye on this evening, Raisa Boris. You saw what she did last weekend against Northern Illinois. Twice the MAC Scholar athlete. She puts the student in the portion of student athlete. Sometimes we forget that.
She absolutely does. Not only is she tremendous in the gym, but in the classroom as well.
Speaking of, again, a solid student athlete, Peyton Murphy. You heard her story from Kim a little bit earlier in our pregame, but again, she isn't just doing it in the MAC. She's on a national level. We're talking cream of the crop.
Absolutely. Not only is she top of the MAC, she has competed on regionals. In Pitt last year, she was at regionals with a team, and the year before individually as well. And she is cream of the crop, top of her game, and I cannot wait to see what the season holds and tonight holds for Peyton.
Both these teams, again, continuing to move upward. When I had a chance to talk to both coaches, Coach Minnesota, obviously, for Eastern Michigan, Coach Jernigan yesterday for Western Michigan. You don't want to peak too soon, but they feel their progression is moving very, very steady.
Absolutely. Both teams are in a great position right now, steadily moving up, counting on those wins, and it's going to be a great season for both going up from here.
Well, tonight is the Purple Meet. It's held annually to commemorate honorary team member Ella Dover and her fight with epilepsy. And there you get a good capsule on what she means to this program, and more importantly, what it means to her. This young lady is a fighter.
She absolutely is, and she has been part of this program for so many years now. I remember actually when she did sign that letter of commitment to be part of this program, and it's a very special thing to have her here and to have this meet for Ella, and she has had a huge impact not only on this team, but teams before her, and the same impact that they've had on her. It's been both ways.
She was brought on board with that honorary scholarship back in 2016. You can see her decked out in purple there in unison with Team Impact. The Eagles signed Dover to a ceremonial letter of commitment to join the team for practices, meets, and team activities. Dover suffers from chronic epilepsy. She's had multiple seizures daily. This, however, does not have an impact on her attitude. She is always smiling and approaching life with the positive mentality. And you take a look around the MAC. Ball State, it seemed to be their world, and everybody was living in it just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Our opening meet when we were here just 3 weeks ago. But all of a sudden, we're seeing things tighten up a little bit.
Absolutely. Things are going to start closing in on Ball State soon, and Western is going to be one of those teams that is going to be hot on their heels and fighting for the top position here soon.
We're getting set to start. Eastern will begin the vault. And ironically, or maybe not so much anymore, this was their sore spot last year. Again, Katie Minnesota talked to me about it pre-season. She talked to me in depth about it yesterday, and she looked at me with a smile from ear to ear and just said, funny how a year makes a difference, huh?
Absolutely, and we have a great lineup for you here today on vault.
There you take a look at Western Michigan on the bars. There's going to be very, very little room for error for either of these teams tonight, won't there?
Absolutely. Both these teams, all these girls can definitely put up some big scores here.
Starting us off, it will be Gwendolyn Cantu. There has been a shakeup, or not a shakeup, but just a change-up in the vault order here tonight.
Absolutely, and Gwen's going to do a Yurchenko full, and she can bring in a big score with this vault right here. Great landing, a slight pike down, but it's a great way to start. Teammates love it, she loves it. This one can pull in a great starting score for the Eagles.
The look on her face was almost half surprise and half absolute exhilaration. As an athlete, you know when you nail it, don't you?
Absolutely. You can sometimes feel that in the air, that it's going to be great on the way down. Your landing's going to be there. You can feel it.
All smiles, hugs. Let's move over to the bars, as this is going to be Danny Petrusik to open things up for the Broncos.
And Danny just started with a beautiful Tkachev. She's going to go right down to that bail handstand on the low bar. I love watching this athlete. She just swings bars. Nice blind full on top of the bar to a double pike. Beautiful landing. Slight step on the landing. But it's a good start for them. And fun note about Danny. Danny is newly engaged over the Christmas holiday. So congratulations to Danny.
Congratulations, Danny.
Very excited for her. I've known her for a very long time through Region 5. So very excited for Danny.
Up next for the Eagles, this is going to be Jacqueline Peterson. You see your vault average, 9.555. You score a little bit more here tonight.
And Jacqueline Patterson, she is in a good position here. She is going to bring in a great vault. She's going to do Yurchenko full.
Getting mentally prepared and taking her approach.
She is an athlete of power. Slight step back on the landing. That just shows how much power she has.
High fives from teammates as we move our attention back to the bars. Up next for the Broncos, this is Donna Catherine Roy. 5'4" junior out of Rock Hill, South Carolina.
And DK is fun to watch. It's funny, I have photos of her bar routine, and I have her in her dismount, her double layout dismount in the same spot, and she's just stuck like that, like in a nice straight body, like she's being taken by aliens or something. It's the funniest photo. I caught it in the Bahamas at a Bahamas meet, in warm-ups and in competition. I'll have to show it to you, but in warm-ups and competition, same shot. It's pretty insane. She's perfectly straight. So you'll see that double layout dismount at the end of this routine. But she is going to open with a Maloney, which is a toe shoot to the high bar right here. She'll go cast handstand. Beautiful handstand on top of the bar. And Maloney right here. Nice kip cast handstand. She's going to go nice toe to hand. She has great toe point right down to that bail. Nailing those handstands, it's very important to nail those handstands. You want to be within 10 degrees of that vertical or you will incur a deduction. But she is right on top of that bar. Gearing up for that double layout dismount I spoke about. Slight shuffle of those feet on that landing, but that is a huge routine for the Broncos.
Tremendously clean lines.
Absolutely. And that toe point is exquisite.
Up next, Janae Daniel for Eastern Michigan.
Another powerful vaulter. A little shuffle to the side in that landing, but a huge Yurchenko full. The Eagles are really bringing it on vault today. They are starting out with some incredible vaults here.
All smiles. Maylee Vanderbeek, never at a loss for words, just having to chat with press row here. She walks on by. All smiles. Eastern has gotten a good start on vault, but as you talked about, you're going to need a strong performance from everybody, no matter what the apparatus tonight.
Absolutely. This is going to be a tough competition with Western, and Eastern has got to be on top of their game right out of the gate, and they are.
Abby Singh up next on the bars for Western Michigan.
And Abby is small. She is a tiny, tiny one, 4'10", but she can fly. She will fly right over this high bar on her first major release, which is a Tkachev. Again, another fabulous photo I have. You can check those out on the R5 College Salute _ podcast Instagram. But you're in for a treat with this bar team. It is jam-packed from beginning to end. Right here, huge Tkachev. Yep, huge. A little close coming down to the bar, but she really flies over that bar. Bail to the low bar, and she is going to gear up for a huge dismount. It's going to be a double layout with a full twist. Boom. Nails the landing.
When we say stick it, that is textbook, was it not?
That was a stuck landing.
And she knows it too.
Yes, she does. And her team knows it as well. That was huge. And here we have Abby Brushwood on vault. That hand front with a half twist. Chest a little low on that landing. Feet a little bit farther apart than we'd like to see. But it was a great vault. It's a different vault.
Yes.
9.9 star value. She just needs to get a little more block off that table to get a little higher in the air so she can land with her chest a little more up. That will be a slight deduction for the chest down on the landing, but it's a great, great vault for her.
Up next on the bars, this will be Peyton Murphy, an all-arounder. We talked about, I don't want to say her challenge, but anytime you suffer a serious injury, that's one thing. When you break your neck, and not in just one spot, but 3 places, they were concerned that she wasn't going to be able to walk again, much less perform. Here she is a few years later, an NCAA qualifier, and just a tremendous story.
And you're in for a treat with this bar routine. She has a very unique release skill that will come up right almost at the top of the routine. It's called a Delchev. It's a skill taken from men's high bar, but she does it flawlessly. Right there, she has a Cal hop. Half pirouette to Delchev right there, boom.
Little flare?
Little flare, love it. Right back up to the high bar here. She also is going to do, as planned, she'll do a blind full, usually likes to do toe on right here, and a front tuck with a half. She usually will go that blind full immediate step on, but sometimes if she's a little off, she likes to separate those 2 skills.
They're not wasting any time as Eastern right back onto the vault.
Beautiful vault from Reza Boraz. That is a Laconi vault. That is your Yurchenko full on with the back pike off. That is a 10-0 start value vault. Huge vault for Reza. That was a beautiful vault. Great landing. And I believe she stuck that landing. I couldn't really see her feet from where we're sitting. She drifted a little over to the side, which will be a slight deduction, but it was a great, great vault.
Coach Minnesota just simply said she is consistently better every week on every event. And again, they wanted to mix up the vault rotation here tonight to maybe give her a little bit, take a little pressure off her, maybe, again, give others opportunities too to start. I know when you talk about the judging, we don't talk about this often, but maybe saving scores for what you feel might be better performances later, and that could be a broadcast of its own to get the coaches sitting here and saying, if the start value is this much, then it should be worth this much no matter where you start in an event. You're nodding yes to that.
Absolutely. They say, you know, you want to build scores, and scores should build as you go along, but you know, sometimes it doesn't really matter where you go in the lineup, but you know, coaches will have, you know, where they want you. So if they deserve a 9-9 as the first routine or the last routine, or a 10 as the first routine or the last routine, it shouldn't matter where in the order it is, but everyone has their, you know, their formula for their lineups.
It's a good way to put it, and I promise I won't ever ask you that question again, at least on a hot mic. All right, up next, Sarah Morovansky.
And she's going to jump over the low bar. This is my favorite, as we all know. Over the low bar she goes. We'll see a bunch of these from Eastern coming up soon, but this is my favorite. Beautiful straddle Jaeger to a bail connection right down to that low bar. Another beautiful handstand right there on the high bar, gearing up for her double layout. Beautiful. A little overpowered, had to take that little step back, but great routine for Sarah.
Quickly, I mean, Eastern's ready to go the minute they get the green light. Alana Fisher.
And Alana had a huge vault last week. This is why she is at the end of the lineup, I'm assuming, this week. She went 9.925 last week.
Good start so far.
Absolutely great start so far. She is a powerful athlete. She earned the Key Eagle Award after last week's competition, but that was a huge vault for Eastern. That's a great way to finish their lineup.
There you get a good look. Yeah, Western Michigan coach Penny Jernigan, her 10th season at the helm. And all you can say is she's been steady, progressive, and I asked her, I said, you got out. You had a good thing going at the University of North Carolina. She was basically a judge for a portion of a year. She was a liaison, but she said she just had the bug. She had to get back into coaching.
Absolutely, and Penny is a joy. I absolutely love talking to her. I feel like she is my spirit animal. When I sat and talked to her in preparation for MAC championships in 2021, her and I could have just probably chatted for hours, but we did not have hours, but we probably could have. I enjoy every time I get to see her, and I've seen her a lot lately because I've seen Western a lot. But I enjoy when I get to chat with her.
I will second that, because she called me from her car and said, give me a second, and pulled into a parking lot to stop to continue to talk to me.
And we have Brecken Quiros here up on bars. She is a huge Tkachev over there. I think she slightly tagged her foot on the bar. I couldn't really tell. But Brecken is a Michigan girl. She is from the Grand Rapids area. And she is also a bar specialist. Gearing up for a dismount, she's going to go blind full to double tuck. Kind of flung it out there a little bit, thus having to put her hands down. Just didn't get a good enough tap into that double tuck flyaway. But she normally brings the energy on bars. She's normally a great bar swinger, so that is really unfortunate
She
for
had a
her.
career high last week, a 9.85, and that was being pressed into service.
Absolutely.
Last vaulter for Eastern Michigan, Kyrie Lowe. Picture of intensity.
And that was a nice vault, a Yurchenko half, and nice laid out position, just a little under rotated, had to take that step back. She was very squatty on the landing. She had a nice body position though, very nice and open in that layout half shape, just did not quite get the block off the table that she needed to get it turned all the way over to her feet.
So Eastern is now finished with this rotation. We still have a couple more for Western Michigan on the bars in the exhibition category. McKenna King will be up next. We talk about the depth for this Western Michigan squad. They had 3 super seniors going into this season, although Josie is out. 3 seniors, a hefty group of juniors. Basically, Coach Jernigan told me this team was built to win it this season.
Absolutely, and I definitely think they can do it.
In a situation where they're building depth here. I know she basically said next year a lot of people are going to think we're going to maybe drop back a little bit, maybe fall off the edge. And she goes, I don't think so. She goes, we are loaded.
And they have incoming freshmen next year that will add depth to their program. They have some up-and-comers that definitely will take those spots. And they have juniors that are in exhibition spots that are consistently scoring 9.9s in the exhibition spot on events. So they definitely are preparing to make a run at some championship titles. And here we go with McKenna on bars. McKenna is a beautiful bar worker. One half to a straddle Jaeger, nice and high. Nice bail to the low bar. And McKenna is from Phenom in Illinois. She's been to a couple Dev National Championships in her level 10 career. She's a sophomore. Gearing up for that dismount. Beautiful double layout. A little over-rotated, just so much power. She gets great height on that dismount. Beautiful stretch position.
Smiles and support from her teammates.
That was a great routine.
We've got one more according to our rotation summary sheet.
We do. Molly
are they
Freeman.
done? Yes, Molly Freeman is still ready to go.
And Molly Freeman, I love Molly Freeman. She actually has spent her entire gymnastics career with assistant coach there, Elle Sharns, at Branch Gymnastics. She is from Kalamazoo. So it's a special story with them too. She grew up with branch gymnastics and Al and the Sharns family, so it's fun to see them through the college journey as well.
You get a good look at Eastern's coach, Katie Minnesota. She is a spitfire.
Oh my gosh, yes she is.
I joked with her and her assistants when I stopped in on practice earlier this week, and I said, what do you do when you're not around gymnastics? What do you do to decompress? Any guess what she told me?
I mean, more gymnastics?
I thought that too. No,
What?
baking.
Baking.
She is a baker, and she loves the Golden Girls.
Who doesn't love the Golden Girls? And here we go with Molly, mount to the high bar. She's going to do a nice piked Jaeger. She usually gets some great height. Down to the bail to the low bar, connected. Beautiful. She has had trouble with that in the past, so it's great to see her make that today. Beautiful handstand. We're going to go bail, blind full right on top of the bar to double tuck. Beautiful. Great to see her make that routine. She has had trouble with that Jaeger and that connection in the past, so very excited to see her making that bar routine today.
So the first rotation is now in the books. Eastern has finished up the vault. Western on the bars. They will flip ends of George Gervin game above center here and take their cracks on the flip side. Western versus Eastern. Let's take a look at some of the performances. You can see as excited as anybody. Anna Grace McCullough in the back. We'll see if they can continue this excitement. We're back with more right after this. Welcome back to the George Gervin game above center. The first rotation in the books. Let's take a look at some of the performances. Eastern started on the vault, Western on the bars, and really a solid start by both teams.
Absolutely. Both teams definitely brought it this first rotation. Scores close, hitting both events. Really a tremendous start to this competition tonight.
Now you take a look at the all-arounder for Western Michigan, Peyton Murphy. Raisa Boris leading the charge for the Eagles on the vault with a 9.85. Janae Daniel hot on her heels, and then some sub-9.8s, but again, all in all, a pretty good start from what you were saying.
Absolutely. Great start on vault for the Eagles. Exactly where scores thought I thought they would be. Tremendous scores.
And I'm not sure if we got, there we go, the bars results. Abby Singh with a 9.825. Peyton Murphy and Sarah Moravosky on her heels. And again, right now, pretty much nip and tuck through the first rotation.
Bar scores I thought a little low for what I'm used to seeing, but there were some steps on those landings, and I think really the landing steps is really what did it. But a good start for both teams. They're both really right where they need to be for this competition, close in the score.
We talked about it during the pregame. Western Michigan has not scored less than a 196 so far this season. As a matter of fact, each of the last 4 meets, their team score has progressively increased. So that's a sign that you're not only doing it well come the bright lights, but you're practicing well and then carrying that over, is it not?
Absolutely. Scores are going up. They're practicing in the gym. They're doing in the gym what they need to be doing on the competition floor. But as the season progresses, you know, athletes are getting tired. They're getting run down. They need to take those breaks. But I think, you know what? They're going for it.
There you take a look at Eastern Michigan's bars lineup. Molly Paris will start them off. Ella Shamati, Jordan Jankowski, Trinity Macy, Kyrie Lowe, and Raisa Boris. You saw Western Michigan's rotation for the vault. Anna Milton, Abby Singh, Peyton Murphy, Cassie St. Clair, Sarah Moravonsky, Allie Faulkner, and then they've got a couple of exhibitions as well. And Danny Petrusik, the newly engaged Danny Petrusik.
Yes.
And Donna Catherine Roy. Everybody just kind of trying to get the nerves out, release that tension there. You see everybody huddling up, just saying, do what you need to do.
Absolutely. They're giving those last-minute pep talks and just getting ready to head into this second rotation.
Getting ready to go. Likewise, Western Michigan doing the same thing, just kind of all business. They say a team is an extension of their coach. Is Western Michigan an extension of their coach, in your opinion?
I absolutely think so. I definitely, 100%. An extension of all their coaches. All their coaches are amazing, and they definitely have the energy of all their coaches.
Anna Milton will be first up for Western Michigan. Deep breath. As there you take a look at Miss Everything, Peyton Murphy, along with her teammates. Likewise, Eastern Michigan. Lock it in. Jordan Jankowski. Very stoic there. Visualizing most likely, right?
Absolutely.
All right, so now it's time to get back after things. Hannah Milton will start us off.
And Hannah's going to do a Yurchenko full. I'm very excited for this. This is a great leadoff athlete. Hannah is a freshman, and this is a great position for her. Beautiful. Slight shuffle back with those feet, but couldn't ask for a better vault to start off the competition.
She seems to be pleased with her efforts, as are her teammates. The vault is underway for the Broncos. For the Eagles, the bar's about to do the same thing, and here is Molly Paris.
She will hop over the low bar, as we all know I love. Eastern just knows what I like. Nice Ginger. She usually goes Ginger bail, but that Ginger was caught a little close, but beautiful bail down to the handstand. Getting ready for her dismount, which will be a double layout. Let's see what it looks like here. Slight tug on the bar. Pulled in slightly, little hop back. That is going to be a deduction. They are big with the landings. It's all about handstands and landings, especially on bars, but landings right now are huge.
Up next on the vault, this will be Abby Singh.
And Abby's going to do a Yurchenko half, and this is one of the best Yurchenko halves you'll see. Her body position is impeccable. Boom.
Out of bounds.
She did have that step forward. And the lines, they want to stay in between those lines. It is not a deduction to step over those lines, but you do get a directional deduction, but that is just a flat deduction, but it's not a deduction to step over those lines, like in floor exercise, how you get a deduction for stepping out of bounds. But her body shape is just tremendous right there in this vault, and we're going to take a look at it again. Super tight, but she does drift to the side.
Up next on the bars, Ella Shamati.
And Ella is gorgeous on bars. I love watching her on bars. Her toe point, her form is just impeccable. A Takacha from her. Nice. A little lower. She could let that fly a little bit more to a bail. She used to do a pound. Changed that up this season. Beautiful toe point. Great handstand right on top of that bar.
See how she finishes.
This is double layout. Slight hop back on that landing. Just could not hold on to that.
See her average of 9.55. She seems to be pretty pleased with that.
It's going to get a good score. It's just landing in the details. And here goes Peyton Murphy. You'll see a huge Yurchenko full from her.
Wow.
Slight step back. Just a little extra power today from everyone on all events. They are really trying to give it a little something extra all over the gym. These steps are going to have to be cleaned up if they want to bring in those big scores, especially going into later in the season. But right now, do they need to stick their landings? Yes. But when we get into the postseason and farther into when it comes to qualifying to things, to regionals and to national championships, we are going to want to clean up those landings, and every landing is going to count. But I feel like they're just all trying to give it extra today.
They take a look at junior Jordan Jankowski.
And she's going to hop over the low bar, as we know I love. I'll never stop with that.
Just for you.
I know. I think Eastern just does it to appease me. Katie only is recruiting those who hop over the low bar, give or take a few. You want to go to Eastern, hop over the low bar. I'm just kidding. You'll take more than that. And over the low bar she goes. You can come here if you don't hop over the low bar.
Nice camera work here by our crew as well. Nice angle.
Nice straddle Jaeger. Bail, immediate bail to the low bar. She kind of caught that a little low. Yes, she caught it at horizontal, but I feel like she kind of had a little forward break. Double tuck a little close to the bar.
Wow.
Stuck the landing though. Blindfold to the double tuck, but I feel like she pulled in a little bit on that. And here we're gonna get ready for vault. Cassie is gonna do a cause, which is a different vault. It is a 10-0 start value. This is a huge vault. When she hits it, she hits it.
Oh my goodness.
Slight step back on that landing a little. She was going for that stick, and she has...
Let's take a look at it. Break it down here for us.
So this is a round off onto the table, and she goes into the opposite direction than a, let's say, a soup, double full or soup full. She goes into her cartwheel, and she does a full off the table.
There you take a look at Trinity Macy getting some last-minute advice and coaching on Coach Minnesota.
Everybody is so hyped up today.
There's an energy here. There was from the minute you walked in the building, just during warm-ups, and it has continued.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody is just, this is such a great environment to be in.
Smiles from the transfer from Pitt.
And over the low bar she goes. She's gonna go blind half to a piked Jaeger. And she's gonna bop right down to her bail to the low bar. Moving nicely through this routine. She's gonna gear up to her double layout with 2 giants. See how she handles this dismount. Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
She stuck that landing.
She's
Beautiful.
only 5'3", but she is a keg of dynamite. Trinity Macy.
Absolutely is, and that was a huge routine for sure. They needed that. They needed to rock that landing. And here comes Sarah Morovansky. Yurchenko full, slight hop back. She was looking for that stuck landing though. You could tell you could see it as soon as she landed. Tried to soften those knees, but still had to take that little shuffle back. But so powerful in the air.
High fives, getting coached up there. This meet is moving at almost a feverish pace.
It is. It's moving so fast. I can hardly keep up.
Next up on the bars will be Kyrie Lowe for Eastern Michigan. Kyrie had a tremendous performance last weekend, a 9.825, and that was good for second place.
All these athletes are coming off of such a high last weekend. Both teams won their respective meets.
Coach Minnesota, I tell you what, she talks with her hands as much as she does with words, doesn't she?
That's a coach thing. All coaches, especially bar coaches, talk with their hands. They'll go through the routine for their athletes using their hands. It's kind of like baseball signals.
I think that was probably just to try and get her to release a little extra tension. You see her breathing heavy there, trying to focus back in. Every sport has something different. I know baseball uses relaxed focus. Football uses controlled aggression. Is there a term in gymnastics?
Visualization, usually. And she's gonna bob herself right over the low bar for me. Blind, she's gonna go toe hand blind half to a piked Jaeger. And we're gonna see a pack from her. She'll go pack to the low bar to a switch glide. And then she's gonna do a beautiful, hopefully beautiful, toe on pike with a half. Little under rotated, had to take that hop forward, but a nice clean bar routine from Kyrie. I remember the last time I commentated, she did struggle a little bit on every event, so it's nice to see her hitting her events today a little bit better.
Back to the vault. This is junior Hallie Faulkner.
And Hallie Faulkner is in the lineup today. I'm so excited. Nice Yurchenko full, beautiful landing, a little scooch back. But I have not seen her in the lineup, and so it's great to see Hallie back into the vaulting lineup.
Look at that smile.
And
She's happy to be back too.
She is, and I'm happy to see her back. I have seen her grow up from a little young kid. She is Michigan grown, right down the street from here pretty much, in Canton, Michigan. So she is a junior. I have watched her go from a little level 10 to an adult, and it's great to see her in this lineup.
Now going from one teammate to another, here's Raisa Boris just kind of hamming it up, doing a little, I guess, freeform dance before her bar routine.
Raisa is so relaxed these days that it's just second nature for her. She is the calm, cool, and collected one, looking ready and just taking
Here we
it
go
all
again.
in.
Absolutely. The camera's on you. We know it, right?
She's ready.
Now, she had a 9.85 last week. That was good for first place.
Absolutely. She kind of reminds me of teammate Molly Paris. Molly Paris still is, but was the calm, cool, collected one, always smiling in her senior year, just having a great time. And I think she's definitely taken over that role of the calm, cool, collected athlete.
The moment's not too big for her.
Smiling,
yeah.
you know.
Almost like you're playing with house money.
Right. Hopping over the low bar for me. They do it. Blind half. She's going to go blind half Pike Jaeger. Huge Pike Jaeger down to bail to the low bar. And her dismount is going to be huge. She's going to go 2 giants to a half in, half out. Right there. Huge.
Oh, my. Wow. Think she knows she nailed it?
She did. She had a slight move of that foot. I don't know if they're going to call it a stuck landing or not, but beautiful. Huge amplitude on her dismount, huge amplitude on her releases. That is going to be a huge, huge score for the Eagles. And here comes Danny Petrusik in the exhibition spot for the Broncos. Beautiful full.
There we see the replay of Boris nailing her dismount.
Absolutely. That was a great routine from Boris that we just saw in the replay.
Petrusik has just finished her vault. Those vaulters aren't wasting any time.
They're not.
The minute they get the green light, they're taking their approach.
Absolutely. This meet is moving.
Fever pace.
It is. This is. People need to get places, I guess, on a Friday night.
Depot Town is waiting. Here we'll see a replay of it.
We'll see a replay. She'll do a Yurchenko full. Beautiful. Right, straight in line. A little bit of over-rotation with the step back, but she was dead center down the line.
So up next, back to the bars. And you see the team scores right now, and as we expected, it is close. Next, this is supposed to be Janae Daniel.
And it is, and she won't hop over the low bar. She's going to mount on the opposite side of the high bar.
Janae, that was still impressive.
It was impressive, but we're going to see a Takacha from her. Down, clear hip to bail to the low bar. And she's going to gear up for her dismount. Beautiful handstand right on top of the bar. Do a double layout. Beautiful double layout. Nice stretched body position. Just kind of pulled those feet underneath her. You saw her feet kind of go in front of her.
High fives from her teammates as the last of the vaults for Western Michigan.
And
this is Donna Catherine Roy.
DK is going to do a Yurchenko full. Slight pike down and feet apart, but nice vault from DK in the exhibition spot.
That will wrap up the vault for Western Michigan.
And we're going to see Gwen Cantu on bars in the last exhibition spot. And I am very excited to see Gwen on bars. We just saw her on vault, but we're going to see on bars. I can't wait till she does floor. I want to see her in the floor spot is what I want to see. Because she has great floor dance and expression. I can't wait someday. But she's going to hop herself right over the low bar for me.
Western Michigan is camped out right in front of us here. You can probably hear them.
And as we finish up on bars, Western's going to get ready to head to the floor. But Gwen is readying herself.
Absolutely.
And Gwen is small in stature, but she's going to swing some bars here for us, hopping over that low bar. She's going to show us a pike, or a straddle Jaeger, right down to the bail to the low bar. Back up to the high bar. She's going to gear up for her dismount. Double layout. Slight hop forward, but that was a great routine. She loves it. And she fell down in true Gwen style. She's hilarious. I love that girl. She is so funny.
I was going to say, good to see her hop back up.
I
It'd be a terrible headline. Freak accident takes out Eastern Michigan gymnast.
Nails bar routine and then falls down.
All good. They'll make their rotations. We'll have them for you when we come back. Don't you go anywhere. We're live at the George Gervin Game Above Center. Back at George Gervin Game Above Center. Brent Balbinot alongside Kim Dallas-Brown. The bars now in the books for Eastern Michigan. The vault likewise for Western. Your thoughts on both teams' performances on those apparatus?
Both teams did amazing. Again, landings are going to be a factor. They need to hone in on those landings in these next two events and just work on bringing the energy, bringing the heat. Next two events are going to be great events for both teams. They're huge events for both teams. But again, landings, landings, landings.
Up next, it will be the beam for Eastern. Western will be on the floor, and there you take a look at the vault results. This is a mixed bag, 9.85 for both Raisa Boris and Cassie St. Clair. 9.825 for both Janae Daniel and Peyton Murphy, along with Hallie Faulkner. So we're keeping you indirectly abreast of the all-around. Jordan. And how about Jordan Jankowski? Raisa Boris both tying with a 9.85. Abby Singh doing honors with Kyrie Lowe with a 9.825.
Score is definitely consistent, definitely in line with each other. They're right there, neck and neck.
Warming up here. Getting your notes ready. The beam has been kind of a hate-love affair for Eastern Michigan so far this season, much like what the vault was last year.
The beam is a love-hate affair for everyone. Let's be real.
And how about you? Was it more love or hate?
It depends on the day, the year,
the minute,
the hour, the second. I hated competing beam, but I loved practicing beam. I could practice beam for hours, especially as I got older.
Then you take a look at the floor. Well, we saw it for a second there. There we go. Broncos on the floor. Rupert Moravansky, Roy, Petrusik, St. Clair, and then Murphy will go last.
And you are in for a treat from start to finish with all these routines. You're going to start at the top with senior Amanda Gruber, actually fifth-year senior Amanda Gruber, and end with fifth-year senior Peyton Murphy. And both those routines are fire from start to finish. They are a treat to watch. And in the middle, you're spread in the middle there with a little bit of everything. And these Western Broncos really bring the energy in these floor routines. And even their exhibition routines, you are in for a treat with those as well.
Cannot wait. I know that's the area where you get to show a little more personality, but it's really been one where both Eastern and Western have shown their stripes. As Eastern finishing up their practice on the beam. Broncos will be on the beam after this rotation. A little pep talk. Get your mind right, and the body will follow, right?
Absolutely.
Easier said than done. There you take a look at the Eagles and their beam lineup. Cassie Bergen will start it off, followed by Patterson, Lowe, Boris, Shamati, Miss Everything, and then Katie Butler. Smiles turned into a look of focus as Eastern breaks their huddle. And they get a good look at, does Raisa have a nickname?
Ra?
Ra?
That's what, yeah.
Ra?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's what they've called her. That's what I've heard. That's what people have said to me.
Well, I'm trusting you. That's why I asked you.
I'm trusting the people that have said it.
Wow, it's like the worst game of telephone ever.
Yeah, I think so. But that's what I'm going with because that's what I've heard.
All right, well, I believe you, largely
you.
until you sting me. Take a look at the team scores there. And can you get much tighter?
No. And this is Cassie Bergen up on beam. And she's going to start off the Eagles. She's a strong lead off. Slight wobble on that full turn. Oh, those full turns, I tell you. They may seem easy, but they are not. Nice backhand spring to way out. A little balance check.
Good save.
I mean, nobody wants to go up first on beam, but she's fighting here. Split jump to split 3/4. She's working nicely through this routine. It's important to have a strong lead off. Really sets the tone. Cat leap to front toss. Now that was beautiful. And she's just going to do a nice gainer front layout aerial full.
Coach Minnesota liked it.
Handled it nicely.
She fought to save that landing, and she did. So Cassie Bergen with a good start for Eastern Michigan on the beam. As we move our attention now to the floor, Western Michigan's Amanda Gruber, she finished with a 9.95 last week, Kim, and I know you and I were talking about it. One judge with a 10.
And this routine is a treat. She knows how to work this floor routine, and you are in for a great, fun routine. Beautiful tumbling. She has always had fun floor routines from her club days to now. She really knows how to perform. She's gearing up for this first tumbling pass, which is going to be a double pike. Or no, front through to Rudy. Front layout to a Rudy. A little piked at the end of that Rudy, but handled it nicely. All smiles here. This really shows the personality. Teammates cheering her on. Assistant coach there, Riley Gallmeyer, who was a gymnast at Western. Nice double back. Great landing. Amanda is a specialist. She was specialist of the week, max specialist of the week after last week. Nice switch side to Copa. Her straddle jumps are just enormous. Beautiful lines. Always fun to watch.
Well, a good start for Western on the floor. Amanda Gruber. Next up on the beam for the Eagles, Jacqueline Patterson.
And Jacqueline is a beam worker. This will be a beautiful routine. Showing off that flexibility right there for the judges.
Come on, Jacqueline. Come on, Jack.
With the flexibility, beautiful. She is so elegant on this event. Gearing up for her series, back handspring, layout step out.
Yes!
Slight
Yeah!
bobble at the front foot, but handled it nicely. Split jump, split 3/4. She is really maximizing her split jumps, showing off that flexibility. Hitch kick side aerial. Not often that you see a hitch kick. Usually they do a cat leap into the aerials. Beautiful full turn. I love a beautiful full turn on the balance beam. It may seem like the simplest skill, but you hit it so hard.
No, she allowed herself a slight smile there.
She did.
As if to acknowledge I got it.
Gainer pike off the end. Stuck landing, hold on to, and she held on.
Dig those heels in.
She did. She dug those heels right in. You want to stick and stay, then salute. You have to hold that position for at least 1 second.
And she did.
And she definitely did. And Sarah Moravansky moving over to the floor. She really knows how to work the floor with her eyes. I have some great photos from this opening pass of her floor routine that she just works the camera with her eyes. She is a beautiful athlete to watch, gearing up for her first pass, which is a double pike. Great landing. She is so fun. She brings that facial expression. She knows how to work the floor exercise.
Turning on the charm.
Yep, to the judges, to her teammates, showing that WM sign, getting ready for her second pass, double tuck, and they love it.
And so should she.
This is a fun routine. Really showing off the personality, getting ready for her leap pass to Surgically full, full. Taking those last-minute breaths. Getting ready for that last pass. Front layout, front full. Penny likes it. What a great routine from Sarah.
All smiles, and then you see the exhale right there.
Oh.
Allowed herself just a little bit of release.
Absolutely. Great routine from Sarah.
Back to the beam for Eastern Michigan. This will be Kyrie Lowe. Up and at it.
Fun mount.
Interesting song choice. This girl is on fire.
We're just gonna watch. Back handspring without step out. Nice flutter jump. Solid series for Kyrie. Nice switch side leap. Working nice. Thank you. Beautiful full turn to a nice half turn. Dances right out of that full turn into that nice little half turn. Getting ready for her dismount. Round off 1.5. Slight hop forward on the landing, but that was an amazing routine. Such a beautiful routine from Kyrie.
Eastern Michigan and her teammates will mob her. They like the performance. Speaking of performance, back to the floor. This is Donna Catherine Roy.
And DK has such a fun routine. I love this routine. She definitely shows her personality. She is all smiles in this routine. And big tumbling to go with it. Getting ready for the first tumbling pass. Double pike. She steps out of bounds, it looks like. I couldn't see a flag from that second judge over there. The line is in. You can step on the line, but once you step over the line, it is a 1/10 of a point.
From our spot here in press row, we are screened out by the Western Michigan team, so I couldn't see either.
And on the screen, I couldn't tell if her foot went over the line. It looked like it was just on the line, but I couldn't tell if the judge put a hand up. Usually they'll put a hand up if they are out. Beautiful leap series. Moving to the corner for her next tumbling pass. But we'll find out in the end if she did step out. It'll be reflected in her score, or they'll throw the yellow card up.
Now she is locking in, getting ready for her next tumbling pass. Blows a kiss to her teammates.
Yep, getting ready for her front through to a double tuck. I love a front through to anything. It's a beautiful pass. Ending nice routine. She is a powerful, powerful athlete.
Speaking of powerful athletes, taking her turn on the beam for Eastern Michigan, Raisa Boris.
And DK did step out. The judge is looking for her card to put up that 10th off.
You see her being Raisa Boris's average, 9.68. She had a tremendous score last week, a 9.875. It's a personal best.
And getting ready for our series, back handspring layout. Beautiful. Teammates love it. Solid on the beam. She is working this routine. Nice full turn. She's taking a little risk. She's lifting her chin, taking her eyes off the beam. The judges love to see that. Flutter jump, split 3/4. It's hard to tell from this angle how split her split is. You need to be 180 degrees. Round off 1.5, and did she hold it? She did. She held that stuck landing.
Second time we've seen them dig their heels in.
They are fighting. This is a different Eastern team than the first weekend that we saw. They met with Western in the first week of competition, and they they lost that meet. They are out to win this one this week.
So next over to the floor.
Danny Petrosic is up on floor.
Waiting for the green light. Getting the mat set in the far corner of the floor. Joking with her coach. Little anxious smile there.
It's just a little waiting game.
Just trying to keep yourself mentally locked in at that moment.
Absolutely. And the girls, they prepare for this. They're used to having a little bit of a waiting time. This happens, and Danny's been to nationals and regional meets and all sorts of level meets, so she is used to having this waiting time.
.53 senior now gets the green light. She will take the floor.
And another one who really knows how to work the floor routine with her eyes and her emotions. And this is a beautiful routine. She's an elegant gymnast.
That's exactly the word I was thinking of.
All the way through her fingertips, through her toe point. Going up for the first tumbling pass, double tuck. Huge. This is enticing music.
She's quickly back into the corner, ready for another tumbling pass.
This time forward. Front handspring, front full. Front layout to a dance out. I love when she hops out of this pass. Leap needs a little bit more split in it, but the wolf full was gorgeous. And I love this part on the floor, especially this right here. She just plays to the teammates, plays to the crowd. Heading to the last corner, her last pass. Should be a double pike. Chest a little low on the landing. I love the ending that she just falls right to her back. I actually have a photo of that, and she's on her toes and just like off the ground. It's a very cool photo.
Very expressive routine.
It is very expressive. It's elegant, but with enticing floor music. I love the enticing music she has. It's great.
She gets high five. She's going to walk over and keep her thoughts to herself and decompress a little bit. And
we're going to watch Ella Chamati on balance beam be gorgeous with her toe points and her elegant full turn.
Take a look at her average there, 9.845. She owns this apparatus.
Beam is Ella's event. Competed at regionals last year at Pitt. Front aerial to backhand spring, layout step out, and her
great save.
Teammates willed her onto that beam. She was not coming off. Ella was not coming off that beam.
Strong toes.
Strong toes, absolutely. Beam is her event. She knows how to work the balance beam. She's not coming off.
She's just so fluid.
She is. She is lots of hours, lots of practice. Beautiful switch split to split jump. Again, this is an athlete I have watched grow up from a little tops developmental athlete to a beautiful college young woman, and it's been an amazing journey. Beautiful dismount. It kind of looked like she landed on a straight, stiff leg. I hope she's okay with her knee.
Appears to be okay.
That's good, but beautiful routine from Ella.
Both teams just kind of punching through each event here, just waiting for an opening. Doesn't right now look like either is going to give the other that opportunity by making a mistake. You're going to have to earn it tonight.
Absolutely. These two teams are so perfectly matched right now, and just moving back and forth, back and forth.
You see Cassie St. Clair, floor average of 9.862. She had a season best, 9.875. That was good for third place in last week's meet against Bowling Green. Let's see what she has in store for us tonight.
Her career high on this event is a 9.9, so she definitely is one that can bring the energy on this routine. And this is a fun routine that we're gonna see from Cassie. She is a tumbler. She is A powerful, powerful athlete. Getting ready for this first pass, round up 1.5 to punch front layout. Beautiful landing. She is just a ball of energy, and you're gonna see it in her dance, in her leaps, in her facials. She is so much fun to watch. And she will show the judges her personality, that's for sure. Nice leap series. Could be a little more split in her straddle jump there. Getting ready for this next tumbling pass, moving into the corner.
What's going through your mind there? You're working the moves, but at the same time, are you working a step ahead on your tumbling pass in this situation?
You're taking deep breaths. You're thinking about the next thing that's coming. The dance moves are second nature. You practice those. You don't even have to think about those.
Coming right at us.
Huge front double full. That was just enormous. And getting ready to finish this off with that W.
Fan yourself off because you scorched the floor, young lady.
That was a beautiful routine.
Cassie St. Clair high-fiving her teammates and allows herself a big smile.
Up here on beam is Katie Butler.
Katie was warming up in front of us for the last 3 or 4 minutes. Now it's her time to shine. Another 5'5" senior, Ohio product from Avon.
Front aerial swing through to a round off. Now I couldn't tell, did she touch her foot coming out of that aerial? It kind of had a little bobble. Now I don't know what they're going to do with that, if that broke the series or not. We'll have to watch that back at the end. Nice cat leap to a switch half, and she likes it. She hails from Gym World in Ohio. Nice front toss, working through that into that jump series of the flutter jump. Feet were a little off the beam, but she managed to pull that out and gain her pike dismount. Feet got a little in front of her. Nice routine. Just kind of wondering what they're going to do with that series. Did her foot hit the beam? Kind of looked like she didn't get swung through, flawlessly.
Keep an eye on it. We'll also keep an eye on Peyton Murphy as she readies for her floor routine.
And this is one of my favorite routines from Peyton. And this first pass is
wow.
Coaches love it. She loves it. I love this routine. I love watching Peyton. Beautiful leaps and jumps.
Putting on a smile for us here in press row.
Absolutely. And we are going to see how many L Sharn she is above the floor with this Rudy straddle jump. This is such a fun routine. This is one of, as I said, one of my favorites that she's had. I talked to her mom last week about it when I saw them at the podium meet.
Being a little taller at 5'7", you just see the lines just indicated a little bit more.
Absolutely.
She's coming right at us.
And this double pike is going to be huge. Just wait for it. Beautiful. Throwing that W up.
All business. High fives.
Absolutely.
Coach Jernigan over there, almost as if, hey, that was expected.
And I'm sure Grandpa Murphy at home watching, or her other grandpa at home as well watching, loved it as well. I told him I'd give them a shout out.
And you just did?
I did. I shout out the grandparents of the Murphy family.
Finishing up the beam for Eastern Michigan, this is Kaden Childress. 5'5" freshman. What's her ceiling here? As you're watching her, as far as growth potential.
Well, being a freshman and this being a nice exhibition routine, she can grow from here. I mean, this beam routine, she's moving through this routine nicely. big things. I mean, big things. This routine so far is looking beautiful. That was a nice back handspring layout series. Beautiful 1.5. This is the future. They have so many freshmen that are going to add to this team in the coming years that we just saw it. That is going to be big for this team.
You just saw the future stick the landing. She almost looked confused.
A little bit.
Okay, now you keep saying everybody is your favorite, but now you throw your hands up and say this one's really your favorite.
This routine is absolutely amazing. She choreographed it herself. This is Allie Shep. She is an engineering major, but this routine is gorgeous. I've taken every photo I want to take of this routine, but this opening right here doesn't stop. Just wait. This flexibility, there's a leap that comes up after this pass. Just this routine is everything. She was in the lineup last week and went 9-9. Beautiful, right there. That is my favorite part of this routine. She is the most flexible. She shows that flexibility. I just cannot say enough about this routine. This is one of my favorite athletes in the MAC. Not just at Western, in the MAC.
Flashes the W.
And coming up after this next pass, she's going to do a gorgeous scale. And arabesque right out of it, boom. Beautiful.
Wow.
It's just one of those routines you just want to watch. Gorgeous. Beautiful routine from Allie.
Little flare to finish.
Did I not tell you? That was a treat.
It was.
Beautiful.
Could we get a second scoop?
It was a gorgeous routine.
And she smiles. Well deserves as Coach Jernigan over to give her a high five as well. We've got one more to finish up the Western Michigan portion of the floor, and this is going to be Hannah Milton. She'll take a look at a deep breath and allow herself a smile as Allie Ship should be very pleased with that performance.
This Western floor lineup is so deep. It's so hard to get into it. You know, you're putting a 9-9 scoring potential into an exhibition spot that it's
These
just
are athletes that are
insane.
I was going to say almost anonymous voices in the chorus here. These would be starters on just about any other lineup, wouldn't they?
Absolutely. It's
Take a
they
look.
are so deep, this Western team.
Taking a look, speaking of Western Michigan, what's coming up at NIU, that's a long bus ride for basically everybody in the MAC to the quad, then at BGSU, and then finally home for a couple weeks. Ball State, Kent State. This is such an obvious question, I'm going to ask you anyway. To be able to stay home, sleep in your own bed, practice in your own gym, stay in routine, how important is that?
So important. You're used to being into a schedule in a pattern, and sometimes you get thrown off that pattern. But these athletes are so used to that grind of, you know, travel and homework on a bus, eating, you know, on a bus, that they are used to it. But I mean, it's never the same as sleeping in your own bed and, you know, in your own gym and in your home arena. But it is what it is. They're used to it, but, you know, sometimes you don't ever get used to it. But
But sometimes you do.
But sometimes you do. Sometimes you don't.
Well, speaking of sleeping in your own bed, as you saw Eastern Michigan's schedule there, they only have one home meet left. That coming up on February 18th. So you get one more chance to see the Eagles perform here at the George Gervin Game Above Center. And of course, we will be here to bring it to you.
We will be here.
So Hannah Milton has been very patient, and she's ready to strut her stuff.
And I'm really looking forward to this routine. The last time I saw Hannah compete, she had a little trouble with the tumbling, so I'm hoping to see her have success with this routine today. Getting ready for this first pass. Should be a double pike. Nope. Front through to front layout to a front Rudy. Switched up her tumbling passes a little bit, it looks like. Beautiful leaps and jumps. And she is the only one competing and doing anything right now. All eyes are on her. Eastern's done doing anything with the balance beam. They're getting ready to move to the floor, so everybody is focused here on Hannah. Getting ready for her next coming pass. Coaches cheering her on, teammates cheering her on. Round off, double back. Little trouble with the landing. Had to go to her knees. Finishing the routine.
Very graceful finish, but you know she's thinking about what if, right?
Absolutely.
So Hannah Milton finishes up Western Michigan's portion of the floor. They will switch ends of the George Gervin game above center. Eastern will strut their stuff, and it will be Western Michigan to the beam when we come back. Tight meet. Don't you go anywhere. Will somebody give themselves an opening, or will somebody earn it? Let's take a look at how we got through the third rotation. Western Michigan had some flair on the floor. Be interesting to see some of the scores. And Eastern wrapped up on the beam. We had a tight one going into it. I believe we still have a tight one here. Break down what you're seeing here, Kim.
Western started out great with a beautiful floor routine from Maynard Gruber, moving over to Jackie on the balance beam, and ending floor Peyton with a huge solid floor routine, throwing that W up with business. And Raisa not letting a 10th go with that landing. She dug those heels in. She is not giving away anything in this competition tonight.
A lot of core strength as well as from the legs down.
Core and heel strength for sure.
Now you're taking a look at EMU on the beam. Raisa Boris, no surprise, leads the way. Kyrie Lowe right on her heels.
Again, a few wobbles and bobbles is what kept some of those 9.6s from being 9.7s and 9.8s. But Raisa Boris at the top with that 9.825. She was not giving anything away.
On the flip side for Western Michigan on the floor, Peyton Murphy, 9.85. Cassie St. Clair with a 9.825. Look at that, 3 scores of 9.8 or better.
Absolutely, and that is where Western has pulled away a little bit from Eastern, was with those 3 9.8s on the floor exercise. But again, everybody has to do beam.
A reminder, this is the purple meet. They are going purple for Ella. Ella Dover's fight with epilepsy. In unison with Team Impact back in 2016, the Eagles signed her to a ceremonial letter of commitment to join the team for practices, meets, and team activities. Think she's enjoying it? Certainly looks like she is.
I think she is. She always enjoys her time here watching EMU meets.
All smiles. And that purple is for you, young lady. Best wishes. Back to the floor. All right, so Western Michigan, they earned that separation. Eastern Michigan didn't give them to them in that last rotation. So here's my question. What's Eastern Michigan have to do to close that gap, maybe even pass them here?
They definitely have to go out there and hit floor, but they also have to hope that Western makes a few mistakes on the balance beam. They do have a little padding, Western does, on the beam, going into beam. However, Western has to make the mistakes, and Eastern has to hit it.
Finishing the warm-ups on beam. Take a look at the points of emphasis there. What do you look for in particular out of those 3? I know they're all supposed to be equal, but does something jump out at you above the others?
The connections. You want to see the connections in the dance connections, and you want to see the acro connections, because those are special requirements. If you don't get those connections, your start value goes down, your bonus, you lose your bonuses. It's always the connections.
Well, Western Michigan got a little separation during that last rotation. Question is, can the Eagles close it or pass it? It's going to take a very big effort. Now you're talking 9.8s or better. You're talking 9.85s or better probably if you're Eastern Michigan, aren't you?
Absolutely.
We'll see what they got in them. Kyrie Lowe will lead it off for Eastern Michigan. On the beam for the Broncos, it will be Hannah Milton. Important to get going early.
First up on the beat for Western, Hannah Milton.
Right now, it's a matter of staying loose but focused. It's so tough because it sounds like a contradiction in terms. But gymnastics is not one of those sports where in other sports where you can get more aggressive and it pays dividends, you can't do that. You get tighter in that situation, and that takes you out of your rhythm and your routine, doesn't it?
A little bit, but you still have to get aggressive, be aggressive, stay aggressive. You just can't lighten up sometimes. You just have to.
You see the fresh them off, followed by Petrusik, Singh, Morvansky, Gruber, and Peyton Murphy.
And Hannah's a great leadoff on the balance beam for the Broncos. She is strong on this event. She is confident on this event. And you saw it right there in that full turn. The Broncos are beautiful with the full turns. I have spoke about this numerous times, about their beautiful full turns. Side aerial through to that round off, and that is the connection I'm talking about. You want to make sure that is fluidly connected. And I like that they are standing on the other side.
I was going to say, this is the first time in 2 years that we've had a clean look at the beam.
Yes. Beautiful leap series, switch leap to a split jump, and gearing up for this dismount. Oh no, not dismount yet. She's gonna do her front toss to her jump connection. Throwing up her Western Michigan WMs. Now she's getting ready for her dismount. I got a little ahead of myself there. This should be a round off 1.5. Slight step forward. It'll be about a 10th or 2. But
Solid
that was
start.
Solid start. The interior of the routine was gorgeous. Perfect lead off for the Broncos. I was just excited that they were on that other side of the beam so I could see. And here's Kyrie starting with the facials to the teammates.
Little flirty.
Well, when you have flirty music, you have to start with a flirty beginning to your floor routine. Getting ready for that first tumbling pass. Double pike. Beautiful. And she is going to show this routine off to the nines. She's got that fun music, and she is going to do some fun dance, fun facial expressions for us. Switch side to Popa to a Shushanova. And they definitely know how to work the floor, this Eagles team. You will see so much expression in all of their dance movements. Heading to the corner, taking those last few breaths. Round off 1.5, punch front, layout, dances right out of it.
Yep.
I love when the athletes dance out of it. Finishing right in the middle of the floor. Beautiful routine. That was a great start for Kyrie and the Eagles on floor.
Back and forth we go. Eastern needed it, and she provided it.
And Dani Petrosik is going to mount the balance beam for the Broncos. And she is sharp and confident. She's going to start with a wolf turn, which is incredibly difficult. But she handles it nicely. I have tried that turn. I will fall off every time. I do have an athlete who does that turn, however, and it's not easy. She's gonna do back handspring layout, step out. Solid. She definitely knows how to work balance beam. She is a beamer. Side aerial to a flutter jump. Throws up her Western Michigan sign. Switch leap to tuck fullish. To tuck fullish because, you know, feet didn't look like they got all the way around.
See if she can finish strong.
And she's going to do a punch front layout full. And she's going to dig those toes right in. Beam. This is a beam team, let me tell you. And they know how to do balance beam, these Broncos. And here we go with Miss I can do all the faces in the world, and I will show you my personality. Chamati. That was a really big middle name. But she's got it. Look at her. She's starting with those faces already.
Yep. Working her teammates first.
Absolutely. She knows. She knows where all the cameras are as well. Katie is standing in front of us doing the same faces as Ella. Getting ready for the first tumbling pass. Double pike.
Oh, that was Sprute strength.
Yeah, she definitely does her squats because she had to push that right back up. But she is going to work the judges with her dance. Nice Church full, split full. Moving nicely through this routine. Beautiful L turn. Held that leg right up there at that horizontal with that beautiful toe point. Here we go for the next pass. Round off 1.5 to a punch front layout. With the faces. Love it. Great routine from Ella Chamati.
Little sassy.
Definitely a little sassy. And we're going to head over to Beam. And this is the twin of Abby Singh. This is Gigi Singh. And she is gorgeous at this balance beam. Beam is her event. 9.825 career and season high.
Well, she and her sister stand in at just 4.10.
Yes, they do. Getting ready for her series. Back handspring layout. Handles it nicely. Wow. Beautiful series. It took me a while to be able to tell them apart, but they do look a little different. Split jump, she goes straddle, half. I've definitely learned to tell them apart after taking pictures of them for so long and getting to know them over the years. Gainer pike dismount, small step back. Beautiful routine for Gigi.
So Western continues to be strong on the beam. Eastern's trying to match them on the floor. Up next, Alana Fisher. We talk about choreographing your own routine. Coach Minnesota said we gave her the green light. Now, granted, everything passes through Coach. She's got to approve it, but.
Of course. I love when the athletes choreograph their own routines. I love when the coaches also give them the opportunity to do that. It takes a lot of trust in your athlete.
Switching from the ragtime to a different style.
Front layout, front full. Does she keep it in?
Yes, she did.
She held on with those toes. This was the routine last time that started with that ragtime, and then she flipped the switch on us and went into this kind of like fun pop and lock music.
You and I talked about this a couple meets ago. Freeform dance is becoming more and more common in floor routines. It's not enough to do the moves. You have to perform them.
Absolutely. You have to perform them. You have to embody the dance movements. You have to embody the characters. Nice switch side to Popa. I love giving my athletes characters to play. When I choreograph routines for other clubs, I love just having characters and stories. I think it just really helps. But getting ready for the last tumbling pass. Double pike. Chest a little low on that landing. Finishing it off right in front of those judges. Beautiful
Very expressive.
routine. It just adds a little something extra when you can be more expressive, when you can really show dance instead of poses in a floor routine. And she definitely danced her way through that floor routine.
Coach Minnesota said in the summer during the offseason they broke up into 4 or 5 groups and they all had input on everybody's potential floor routines.
That's fun.
So that way everybody had a little bit of ownership in it.
That's actually really fun. And over on the balance beam we have Sarah Moravansky. wait for her tumbling series. Back handspring, back handspring, layouts.
Oh my goodness. She hops up and being asked if she's okay. Oh my goodness, she came down in a bad angle.
It looks like she slid right down the beam, which is, I guess, better than splitting the beam. But
she's smiling right now, but coach coming over, asking, making sure.
Yeah, definitely making sure she's okay. She seems to be okay. You have...
Here's where you have to trust your athlete to be honest with you, don't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you do have a time frame. You have 45 seconds to remount to the balance beam.
She's back up. We'll take a look at it, and it's right there.
Oh, yeah.
Boy.
Her foot just slid down the side. I think it's the back foot maybe that hit that maybe caused the ow.
It was a nice job by our production crew to give us the box in box there.
Absolutely. Good job, production crew.
Physically, it's one thing. How do you recover mentally from that?
You know, it just depends on the athlete. She's doing a great job working past it and through it. Some athletes, you know, might have just said, I'm good, I'm gonna be done, but you know, after so many years of doing this sport, they're used to taking falls. She finished nicely, round off 1.5. You could definitely tell you can see on her leg already she has a little beam bite.
Yep, she's got a raspberry.
But you know, she's a seasoned professional at this point. She's done this many times, and she knows how to handle those falls and get back up.
Speaking of seasoned professionals, she got back into the lineup last week at Northern Illinois with a 9.8 on her floor routine. Here is the Warrior Queen, Anna Grace McCullough.
And this is a routine I've been waiting to see. I was bummed when, you know, she was out. I saw her at the exhibition meet in December, so I'm glad to see her back in the lineup. Front layout to front double full, and she has lost no bounce. Knee injury, what knee injury? She's lost no bounce, and I'm glad to see that she's in this floor lineup. She is one of my favorite floor workers. Beautiful switch ring to a split full.
She's just enjoying herself.
Absolutely. This is one of those routines that is a photographer's dream, so I hope they're getting some good photos. I have some good photos of this routine, and she is just literally enjoying this experience, happy to be back in the floor lineup doing what she loves.
Backing into the corner for a pass. Deep breath.
And front layout to Rudy. Beautiful. Sliding right in for that ending.
Oh yeah, stretch your
Gorgeous.
stuff.
Gorgeous routine.
Flashes that big toothy grin.
She loves
Welcome
it.
back.
Teammates love it. Great to have you back, AG.
So we move back over to the beam, and this is Amanda Gruber. And did she have a great performance last week against Bowling Green, a 9.825. Now you take a look at Anna Grace McCullough. Big toothy grin on her face. She knows it. Just appreciative of the moment.
And you are in for a treat with this balance beam routine. 9.95 is her career high. Beautiful full turn. I'm telling you, I don't know what the Broncos do for full turns, but I want your assignment. I've asked Penny before. I need the assignment. Back handspring, layout step out.
Not a waiver.
No, solid. She's a specialist on this event, and this is her event. Like this, if you're talking about beam and being able to do a routine, beautiful leaps and jumps. Switch side to straddle quarter. This is one of those routines that can pull in a huge, huge score for the Broncos.
Broncos might have given Eastern Michigan a little bit of an opportunity in that last.
Round off 1.5 stuck
Boy,
landing.
nothing wrong there.
That's one of those routines that could go 10. It could.
My goodness.
Beautiful.
So back to the floor, Abby Brushwood. Abby had a 9.85, good for second place at Northern Illinois last weekend. Let's see what she's got in her tonight. There you take a look at the dismount again there by Amanda Gruber.
And the Broncos meant business in that routine coming off that fall. And here we go for our opening tumbling pass for Abby. Front layout to Rudy. And this is a fun routine. She is all smiles, playing to her teammates, playing to the crowd.
Showing off to the judges.
Nice switch side straddle jump. That was a fun move. Love when they have fun, unique dance and skills in their routines, really showing off a little something extra that they can do.
You can see Amanda Grace McCullough cheering her on in the corner for this pass.
Double tuck.
Wow!
Great. Couple jumps to get to end. Beautiful routine.
What do you
Abby.
think of that?
That was a wonderful routine. She did everything she needed to do and more in that routine. I felt like AG was going to crawl up on the floor with her for that last pass a little bit.
Well, that's being engaged. It's being a good teammate, right? She's not off to the side, just kind of in her own world.
Absolutely.
Up next on the beam, this is Peyton Murphy.
And this routine is beautiful. Peyton is confident, elegant. She is the total package on balance beam. Nice front toss.
Goodness.
She just throws that right over, practically standing up at the end. No squatting positions. Beautiful full turn. And her mom in the crowd. Her mom does not like to watch when Peyton does balance beam. Backhand swing, layout, step out. I caught a glimpse of her mom a second ago before that, and her mom is up there not watching at all. I've talked to her mom before about that, just doesn't like to watch.
Right now she's missing a tremendous performance.
She watches the replay. Beautiful jump, slight bobble, but that's okay, handling it nicely. Mama Murphy, she'll catch it on the replay.
Mama Murphy, your daughter is owning it right now.
She is getting ready. Gainer.
Wow,
Cartwheel
great way
gainer,
to finish.
layout full off the side. Now, if you watch her foot on that, again, she was slightly off the beam. And last time I saw that, last week at the podium meet that she did, her foot, I have a picture of it, slightly off the side. But she handles that nicely. Doesn't matter if it's on or off, she will still stick that landing.
So Raisa Boris, she's not wasting any time. She says, let's get after it.
She's ready to go, and she's meaning business right here. She will show you a beautiful routine. Coming right at us for this first tumbling pass. Double pike. Making eyes with Katie. I know why Katie wears the low heels.
Yes, she was dancing earlier in front of us.
Round off 1.5, punch front layout, dancing out of it, right to Caitlin, the assistant coach. Again, calm, cool, collected competitor. This is her time to shine as the senior all-arounder, and she is definitely taking advantage of these moments.
Everybody knows everybody else's choreography. The coaches, your teammates, everybody's performing along with her.
Oh, absolutely. That's what you do as a gymnast. You learn your teammates' choreography. I'm sure there's little kids that know it too. Double tuck to end.
Strong.
And a great way to end right there in front of the judge. What a floor rotation.
Powerful finish. The question is, has Eastern been able to close the gap a bit on the floor?
And this is why Raisa is the anchor for this team. We're gonna move over to the beam we have 2 exhibition routines from Western, starting off with Allie.
She does more than floor.
She does, and this is a beautiful routine. Again, you're in for a treat of flexibility and precision and just beautiful choreography.
Coach Minnesota coming over in front of us. She's got a couple of exhibitionists as well. Deep breath. The question is, what will that final score be?
We're going to have to wait and see.
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go
We've
anywhere.
Still got a couple of exhibitions for both teams here.
We do, and we're having a judges meeting right now.
There you take a good look at Coach Jernigan.
Yep.
Big smile. Somebody said, hey, the camera's on you, Coach.
Yeah, smile.
Look photogenic.
Look happy. Smile. Well, we gotta do a little waiting. The judges had a little discrepancy with their scores. They're a little too much of a gap in what they were flashing, so they.
So how do you resolve that? What's the protocol usually?
They put on boxing gloves and just have it out in the middle of the ring. I'm just kidding. No,
Zing.
They go and have a little chat just to see, you know, what each other saw. Try to get more in line with each other to see where we're at, because sometimes somebody may have missed something, or you know, they just kind of hammer it out. I don't 100% always know what they chat about in their judges meetings because I don't go to them.
Here you seeing the scores on the floor for Eastern Michigan. Raisa Boris with a 9-8.
Abby Brushwood
with a 9-9. And Anna Grace McCullough with a 9-7-5.
Not bad.
I had the scores earlier for Western Michigan on the beam, if our crew can show them again for us. There you go. 9-9 for Amanda Gruber. She had a tremendous performance last week. Of course, Petrasek. Moravansky with an 8-5. There you see right now, Eastern Michigan. This is the first sub-196 team performance for Western Michigan this season.
It is. It is. And Allie up on beam in the exhibition spot with her beautiful choreography we just saw in her mount. And that beautiful attitude turn that she just did, holding that leg up into the back. Getting ready for her aerial. Oh, that's a
Wow.
counter.
Tell you what, good to see. She knew it as she
yeah.
came and saw the beam, so she saved herself
Yeah.
rather than try to save the performance.
Oh, absolutely. And it's nice, some of those skills you can see the beam like she could in the aerial layout, step out, put that hand down. She knew she was off. And that happens. But she's gonna wow us with the rest of her routine with her beautiful flexibility. Side summy. I haven't seen one of those yet today, but side summy is a beautiful skill. Throwing down that Western Michigan W. And gainer full off the side. Beautiful routine from Allie.
Again, just the one misstep there, but finishes up pretty strong. And up next for Eastern Michigan, how about this? Priya Carley.
And she is just a bundle of energy. This routine is nonstop. Packed.
The coaches told me she has come out of her shell. She did not do a lot of dance or really much in the way of floor prior to getting here. And they said this last off season, she just decided to let go.
Well, and you can definitely tell she's been working really hard on it. She's just a little bundle of energy.
Yeah.
In that first pass, that Rudy back layout step out, she straddle jump. She just is bouncy. These jumps, she just takes them up. That switch half to her straddle jump, she just takes this dance to the next level. You can't tell that she has not done dance because she is on fire here. She is
very flirty. She's even fanning herself. This is not
Absolute.
Carly Priya. This is her alter ego diva on the floor right now.
I love it. I'm giving her a nickname.
Yep. She just turns into a different person come that music.
Diva Priya. But you know, it's fun to have a little alter ego. I mean,
why not?
If that is what helps get you through, to turn on this alter ego. Beyonce has Sasha Fierce. You know what? Priya can have Diva Priya. Front layout, front full. Yes,
Diva
that was
Priya
beautiful.
Is a little show off. My goodness, that was fun.
You go, girl. Go, Diva Priya. That is her new name. Diva Priya. I like it. We're going to move back over here to the balance beam for
One
another
last one.
exhibition, Emily Krajak. Now, I have known Emily for a long time. She is from Freeland, Michigan, which is 5 seconds from Saginaw, where I live. I have seen her grow up. She went to the gym down the street from me, mid-Michigan. So it's fun to see her in college doing well. She's competed at 2 junior nationals for level 10, and I'm so excited to see her on beam. She got a 9.9 in the exhibition spot last week. Let's see what she can do here. She can go aerial back handspring. Aerial layout step out.
A little too springy. They don't list a height for her. How tall is she? She's got very long lines. Any idea?
She's very tall. She's like 5'7", maybe. Well, you should see her compared to the twins.
Well, at 4'10", I was going to say that's an unfair comparison.
There's a picture of them on one of their social medias, and the twins, one of them are standing on a step next to her. But she's taller than me. She's probably like 5'4", 5'5".
And she saved it.
She did. And normally she does a beautiful beam routine. She's just trying to break into that lineup. Got to get a little more consistent with that series. But she can pull in a big score. She is part of that future of the Broncos that we have been talking about.
So Trinity Macy, the 5'3" senior, will wrap up the floor portion for Eastern Michigan. Competing in the bars in addition to floor this evening.
Careful with those heels.
Close.
A Rudy back layout step out to open, and she is going to work the facial expressions in this routine. Careful with those heels, girl. Round up 1.5 front pike. The floor is 40 by 40, but they have to be careful when they are getting backed up into those corners, because even if you step out while you're standing in the corner, that's a deduction.
Trinity Macy is using all of it.
Yes, she is. A lot of these athletes do. They back right up into that corner. Huge straddle jumps there on that Popa and straddle switch side. Getting ready for that last tumbling pass. Breathing.
She's gonna come into your living room.
She's coming right at us. Punch front Rudy to finish it up. And a great routine from Trinity Macy to close out the meet.
Bright Lights finishes it up strong. And that will do it for the competition here this evening. As you can see the team scores in the bottom right-hand corner. Tight meet this evening.
It was definitely a tight meet, and both teams having great performances and some bobbles and wobbles on certain events, but in the end, both teams did what they could.
We are going to take a quick timeout. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we will put a bow on it. We'll give you the team scores, the all-arounds, and a whole lot more. Don't go anywhere. Back to the George Gervin Game Above Center right after. Back at the George Gervin Game Above Center, it is now in the books. It was a very tight meet, and there you take a look at just an eyelash, basically floor to beam, beam to floor. The first half of this meet was as tight as it can get. Brent Balbanon alongside Kim Dallas-Brown. Kim, you and I were talking about it. We're going to take a look at some of the highlights in that final rotation, but as tight as you could get through the first 2 rotations, and then which was it? Maybe Western Michigan's floor or the beam? Where was the difference in this one, in your opinion?
The difference definitely was in Eastern's beam. They had some problems, wobbles and bobbles, and Western on floor, they just catapulted it up into,
they took it to another level.
They did. They took it to another level. But then taking it over to the balance beam, Western is just that good at beam. They have flawless beam routines. Other than our fall, they just know how to work the balance beam. And Eastern kind of gave it away a little bit on floor. They had some issues with some tumbling passes, some low chests on landings, but Western is just knows how to separate themselves on the balance beam.
There you take a look at some video from the forward team from Raisa Boris.
And right there,
Wow.
Amanda Gruber, she did beam and meant it. She meant business coming off that fall with Sarah Moravansky before her.
She had a 9.85 last week. She had a 9.9. Let's take a look at the all-around competition. Let's start with the Broncos' Peyton Murphy. Just solid.
Peyton is always solid, calm, cool, collected. She knows how to perform. Look how high she took that double pike. Vault, solid as ever. Huge rear tanko full. She goes 39 plus in her sleep. She is a force to be reckoned with all the time.
And let's take a look at Eastern's all-arounder, Raisa Boris. And again, another solid meet for her as well.
As I said before, Raisa is on a hot streak right now. Again, another athlete that just goes 39 plus in her sleep. She and Peyton are neck and neck. They are one right after another. Look at that. Just
digging in her heels.
She meant business today. She was not letting Peyton get ahead of her at all.
All-around scores, guess what?
They tied.
Yes.
They tied. Incredible finish to an incredible meet. And if you take a look, Raisa and Peyton throughout the season so far have been back and forth in their all-around totals. And today was no surprise. They are pretty equal with each other all around the gym, and that right there was no surprise to me.
Let's take a look at the vault scores for Raisa Boris. Again, they moved her back in that rotation. She and Cassie St. Clair with 9.850s, but a situation here where Raisa didn't seem to let it phase her one bit.
No, absolutely not. They kind of shuffled around that lineup, and it did not do Raisa any issues. She handled it nicely and came out on top.
Of course, Cassie does a unique vault, and it paid dividends for her.
Cassie does a Kaz, which is a different vault you don't see a lot, and she can perform that in her sleep. Another one that can go big when it counts.
That's the vault. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bars. Congratulations, Jordan Jankowski. Again, she was set to really get going last season, and then she injured herself. But good to see her back again, and a 9.850 along with Raisa Boris. That's well done.
Absolutely. Great scores and great places for these two athletes.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the beam. And this is where Eastern Michigan maybe wishes they had a couple things back, but my goodness, Amanda Gruber a 9.9, Peyton Murphy nipping on her heels with a 9.875, and then Raisa Boris with that 9.825.
And Amanda Gruber grabbing this top spot on beam is no surprise. Beam is her event, and especially today, coming off a fall from her teammate before her, she was doing beam like it was her job. She meant business, and you could tell throughout the whole routine she was not giving anything away today.
And of course, that leaves us with one more rotation. Abby Brushwood, a 9.9, Peyton Murphy with a 9.85, and Cassie St. Clair, a 9.825. As a matter of fact, look at how many we've for Michigan, just a little bit.
Absolutely, and Western, they came out on floor meaning business. They were not going to let this meet go, but Abby Brushwood with that 9.9, well-deserved. She just was above and beyond with all of her tumbling, all of her jumps, but Peyton equally as above and beyond in her dance, tumbling, and her performance as well.
So this one is now in the books, but far from over as far as the season is concerned. And there you see for Western Michigan, that's a long bus ride coming up on February 9th at Northern Illinois for Eastern. A little bit closer to home, Sunday, February 11th, as they'll make the trip down to Bowling Green. What do you want to see? What would you expect for both these teams in their next meets?
I just expect them to go out there and do what they did today, giving it their all. However, landings, ladies, we need to work on those landings. Both teams had some issues with landings on bars and vault, but beam landings looked great. But let's work on those landings. Got to hone in, stick those landings.
Kim, appreciate you throwing on the headsets. We've got at least one more before the end of this season. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely, me too.
That's going to do it for our coverage here this evening. For Kim Dowis-Brown and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Brent Balbinot saying so long from Ypsilanti, Michigan. The Eagles come up just a bit short. We're talking literally tenths of points. Western Michigan now moves to 7-1 on the season. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a sports presentation of ESPN.